Hey guys, it's Jessica Hayes. So today I have finally filmed a brow tutorial. I have been putting this off for so long, just kind of due to, you know, slightly tweaking the shape of my brows here and there, but finally I've grown them back to their full potential, but with a little bit of shape. So if you guys keep watching, I will show you my updated brow tutorial. For today, I'm going to be using these products from Brow Rehab. This eyebrow cream is one that I have been using for about 2 years now. This is the Brow Rehab Brow Cream, and this is the color Ash Blonde. This color is perfect for that silvery kind of tone that I have in my hair sometimes, and also this grayish purpley color right now. Pretty much every single color I've been from 2 years up until now, this color has suited, especially for my brow coloring. I much prefer something that's a little more cooler toned as well. This is the perfect color for blonde hair, silver, platinum, gray, whatever it may be. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the brow cream just on both sides of the brush so it gets it really nice and thin. Dab that off of my hand just a little bit. And basically what I'm going to do is just start off with a line underneath the brow. And I'm just gonna kind of stamp that to the end, right to the tail. Make sure I get this tiny little bit, just stamp a little extra right in there because there's always a tiny little gap. So now that I've stamped that bottom line along there, what I'm gonna do is just grab a little more just on the brush, and then I'm going to use that brush horizontally and just flick upwards. What this does is just fill in the shape without being too harsh. And then I'm just gonna pull down that tail just a little bit. Anywhere where there's little gaps in my brows, I'm just gonna go in and kind of spot fill. So this little area just right up there. And make sure that's nice and defined underneath there as well. For the fronts of the brows, I don't like it to be a really harsh or square look, so that's why I line underneath first and then brush the product upwards just very softly. Go ahead and do the other side. My brows are definitely sisters and not twins, that's for sure, but obviously filling them in, we're gonna try and make them look more like twins than sisters. Stamping that line underneath the brow. I like to bring it through the tail just a little bit. Horizontally, you're gonna flick the product upwards. I'm not using a lot on my brush, and I'm not using a ton of pressure either. This eyebrow is slightly thinner than that one. It's my least favorite brow, that's why I always take the selfies on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of that brow cream just right above there, just to add a little bit of width to the brow. And then I'm just gonna pull that down the tail. The reason why I've kind of switched back to using brow creams rather than pencils is because with the brush I feel like I can get more of a control of how the product looks, whereas with the pencils I just felt like I was getting too liney through the brow, and this is just actually way quicker for me to do in the morning, and you know how I am with my makeup. Minimal, no fuss. All right, so now that the color is in and the shape is done, this is the most important part. I'm going to take a bit of this Brow Rehab Spray Brow, just spray that on the spoolie end of my brush, and I'm going to use that to comb the brow through. What this is going to do is style the brow and keep the brow hairs in place, but the most important thing is that it kind of melds the color back into the skin so that you can't tell that you've got your brows drawn in. And I make sure I brush out the front of the brow so that you can't see where the brow product starts in the front of the brow. This is very important. So for that, I just add 1 spray per eyebrow. Like I said, make sure you pay attention to the front of the brow because you don't want too much product in that front part. And then just comb it through so it meshes that into the skin seamlessly. This is like hairspray for the brows, so wherever you put them is where they're going to stay. If you're lacking that brushed up look at the moment, just brush the fronts of the brows up. I just like to go in and make sure that there's no little gaps, just with the very tip of that angle brush. There you have it. Brows. So hopefully you guys have found this little tutorial helpful. I actually do eyebrows as well as makeup, so eyebrows are like, they've got to be on point for me. My brow shape and kind of the way that I do my brows has definitely changed and evolved over the years, but this by far is my most favorite easy and natural look for brows. The most important thing I think is just brushing out the fronts of the brows. There's nothing worse than having that real kind of stark, sharp look to the front of the brows. I think that's when it looks very fake and drawn on. Even though I love a nice defined and sharp brow, I think there's nothing worse than your brows being too harsh and taking over your face and taking over your makeup as well. So that's why I love this method with the brow cream. I've actually had this exact pot for over 2 years. When I first got it, I remember some people were asking like, does it dry out and stuff? I have used the Anastasia one before and that dried out for me, and this one still has kept its nice kind of waxy creamy consistency. As you can see, when it goes on, it's not overly wet, so it's really easy to control the amount that you're putting into the brow so that you don't get that over-defined sharpie brow look. So I do understand that everyone is so different with their brows. Brows are a very personal thing, I believe. This is the way that I love to do my brows. I do have naturally bigger brows, so that's why I like to keep them a little more natural and soft. Otherwise they are definitely too overpowering on my face. The Brow Rehab Brow Cream, especially in this color Ash Blonde, is the most perfect color for platinum blonde when I have that silvery look, and then when I just have that white blonde color as well. Thank you so much guys for tuning in. If there's any other little feature focused tutorials that you guys can think of that you would like me to film, make sure you leave comments below. I will also leave in the description box below where you can get all of the products that I have used in this tutorial today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions, as always, please ask, and I will see you guys next week for my next video. Bye!